Alright, boys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the 5 alerts we have in Grand Cross. I'm going to be ranking them. Now, the thing is, I don't want to do a video on who you should alert first. Me and Amazing talked about this, and while talking about it, I realized it's like, there is a very clear, easy answer that I feel like if I made that video, I'd feel bad about it because I feel like it would be a very bad video. Because it's just generic bad advice. Okay, there's no like thought process behind it. It's like very like, oh yeah, because this is this and this and this and this and this. I feel like that video wouldn't be good. Because the thing is with the who you should alert first, it depends on your account, okay? If you can beat all the PvE content already and you don't struggle with it, right? You have like you have the right like Nidok team, you have the right Skull and Holly team, right? You have like teams that are really strong for those. Then what I'm gonna tell you, oh yeah, you should make Liz first. Bro, no, trust me, like she's so good for PvE. No, I'm not gonna say that, right? Because I'll be like, oh, you have that, okay, yo, make Lostvayne. He's like, you know, his ultimate's really strong, maybe you can fuck around PvP. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't wanna make that video, because I feel like I couldn't make it in good conscience. Whatever, other people will make that video. This is ranking them based on how good I think they are in Grand Cross. Now, my view on this is also very different, again. I'm saying, like, my whole thing is, how good are they? What do they enable that they didn't enable before? And how are they worth the investment? Are they worth the yeah? Are they an improvement over the base, like by like a large amount? Do you need them? Do they again? I said this already. Like enable stuff that they haven't. Are they good in various contents? I feel like once I talk about the units, it'll make more sense to you if you haven't like understood yet. But I feel like my point of view is a lot better than just like how good is this unit like isolated from everything in the game. Okay, because I'd be like, oh yeah, Lostvayne's broken, like his like practically has no weaknesses, you know, only like strong, boom, right? So that's why I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to have a thingy. Now the thing is, I know a lot of people in the comments will disagree with my placement, but that's fine. I get that. I will respect your opinion. This is mine. You can disagree. Please disagree in the comments or agree with me in the comments. I don't know, whatever you want to do, and let me know how you feel about this because I know I'm gonna get a lot of craziness from you guys for this, okay? So it's first out of Lostvayne, since I've just mentioned him. I'm gonna put him number 4. I think he's the 4th best LR in the game right now. Obviously, I wish we had more LRs. I feel like the gaps between the LRs is very big. So saying 4 doesn't mean that he's close to 5 or 3. Okay, I feel like he's just 4th. He's just the 4th best. Where does that rank in terms of all the units in the game? Very high, very high. He's very good. Just between the LRs, I think he's the 4th. Now, why do I think that? Well, it's because he doesn't, like, one thing he has is he doesn't need a team. That's a good and a bad thing. Because the good thing is, his passive doesn't, like, he's not restricted to any team. You can run him on whatever you want. You can run him on Unknown if you want, right? His ultimate will reliably kill everyone, usually on 6-6. His cards, both are very strong cards. Both, like help him do what he wants to do. He does a lot of damage, but that's also what limits him. His passive doesn't have, oh, if he's on like this and this team, he gets more stats and everything. So all his like stats and everything relies on allies, okay? And both teams that you like typically run this guy on, because those are his like factions, like demons and sins, both of them have better options for what, you know, this guy wants to do. Both of them have better options for Old Rush, and both of them have well, that's it really. That's mostly do. And then for general damage, obviously they both have like better options, right? Like one, we have the new Meli, who is better on both teams. We have Perk Meli, who I'd say is probably better on demons, but I could see genuinely an argument for like Lostvayne. I think Lostvayne's underrated in general, but I think Perk Meli and him probably on the same level for demons. I feel like Perk Meli is safer, more consistent, but Lostvayne can be really strong on that team as well. And on Sins, like you have Bond ult, the strongest ult in the game. You have the new Meli ult, one of the strongest ults in the game. You have other like you have many options for Sins. And the sap you'd want to run for Sins usually includes at least one of those. So Lostvayne would just be like, he'd be there. You can run him, you can win with him, but it's not like he's like a, oh damn, like without him, like it's all falling apart. He's not that. So it doesn't do anything unique. He's just damage. He's just damage and ult rush. He has infect, which is very nice, but that's it. Next up, we've got who do I do next? Glox. Glox, I think, is number 3. Glox is very strong. Glox is very strong. Glox, I would like. Glox does a lot of things, and a lot of people don't know what Glox does, so they hate. Okay, and I'm gonna present you with some things, and you tell me if that's good. What Glox does on a very average like turn, without clicking any cards, in most cases, he will be increasing your entire team's defense rate stats by 30%, which is very nice, right? People used to run Green Guiltlin all the time. And like technically, if you could have a 5th unit, a lot of teams would still run it. Increasing defense rate stats by 30%, right? And then people forget about his relic because it's 15% basic stats. And then fairy allies crit chance by 5% and 10% crit damage by 10% up to 4 times. So 20% crit chance, 40% crit damage, 15% basic stats, 30% defense rated stats. And he's lowering the enemy's crit chance and crit damage by 40%. That's just baseline him existing on the field. Okay, now I will agree, I don't think his cards are the craziest because single target bleed, that card was hard to save to begin with, but they could have, it's really hard because it's a debuff card in rank 1, like how do they combine skills, what's their limit, like what are they allowed to do in like, you know, in that marble, what, you know, like could they just made it a stun card in rank 2, you know, could they, you know, that would have been nice. Ult reduction would have been nice. His AoE, I wish, was either Shock, so it would work with a lane relic, or Dissolve, just so you have Dissolve, because Dissolve is just a nice skill. And then you also have something on rank 1, because right now on rank 1 it doesn't do anything, right? All it does is just the same thing with slightly more damage, and then on rank 2 it does a lot of things. On the rank 2 above it's really good, but the thing is, realistically speaking, when you build a team, you don't build it around people's rank 2s and 3s. You usually build it around their rank 1s, and maybe 2s if it's a character that you think you can get their 2s with consistently, but like usually it doesn't happen. So you can't like build a team around like this rank 2. You can't be like, oh yeah, I'm always gonna have them like attack sealed and buff sealed, because that won't happen. But if you do attack seal them, then at least like against goddesses, they can cleanse with a Margaret card, right? So that's good. But that's, you know, that's like as good as I can talk about his cards. And that's why he's 3, right? I think he does something. He's very unique, right? He enables fairies. By a lot. Like he turns fairies from like a yikes team that like only Wills can do to like a team that a lot of people can run and probably find a lot of success with. Even going second and everything, the team is really strong. It doesn't take a lot of damage if you have the right units. And again, I assume people like for this tier list, I'm not gonna be like on like account like specific basis. I'm gonna say if you have an active account, you've been playing, you know, you've been playing for a while, you're actively playing the game, your box is looking like a box that is from an active player, you have most units. Then Glox is a fantastic LR. I love this guy. He's really fun. His commandment's good too. It's very easy to play around, but a lot of times it's like it's hard to play around as well. A lot of times you're like forced in a situation where you have to use like 2 cards as a character. Right? Like Transbond can't do his combo. Period. Like if you're fairies, Transbond can't do his combo. And a team you run him on, both fairy and demons if you wanted to, or commandments. Both of them play around this really well themselves, so it's mostly your enemies that would suffer against this. Okay, but I don't think this is like too crazy because goddesses can't be debuffed. And then against sins it's good. In the mirror matchup it doesn't matter. Against demons it also doesn't matter too much. So it's not something that comes up too much, but it is there. And again, it has a use, so I will mention it. And his ultimate's bad. It's a single target. You're never going to be rushing ult with him. Okay, but he enables so much. Okay, the amount of stats he gives to fairies, which they need, is tremendous, and people forget that. So I think he's number 3. I think he's better than Lostvayne, but I'm excited to read the comments on this one already. Number 5, I'm gonna do Margaret because you can use Margaret on base, and she will be the exact same character almost. Okay, now I know we've been like memeing and stuff about this, but this passive 40% basic stats if you use 5 bus, right, is nice, and it's the same thing when you lower her. They didn't increase or anything. They make it like 10% up to 5 times, so it's 50 or something, right? So it's the same thing, and that's really strong. That was really strong. Like no one thought Margaret needed an alarm when she came out. Okay, so that's good. And then she gives you 20% crit chance and crit damage if you remove 5 debuffs, which is very easy again. This is super easy. This a lot of times. This is one use of the buff card, and you have it stacked. 20% crit chance and crit damage, which is not bad, right? It's good. It's just the goddess team, like, it needs it, and it needs her. Like, she'll probably never be replaced. The base Ludo would have probably never been replaced either. But it's not that big of, like, it's the reason I'm putting her here is not because she's a bad unit. It's because she's not worth the investment. Okay? So from an LR perspective, she's the worst LR. Because she is, like, if you don't LR her, you don't feel that big of a difference. The CC is nice, which you don't need on goddesses because they have really high CC anyway. And CC doesn't matter on units, it matters on account. And that's it, like that's all she has. Like, really, she's just a CC buff like for you. They charge card, right, instead of turning into something useful, they keep going with this crit stuff, right? So like her his thingy now lowers crit chance and or just crit resistance, sorry, so you increase your crit chance, which is nice. But you'll never click this card thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to cook. No, you click this card thinking, I guess I rushed my Mael ultimate and I just need to get rid of cards in my hand, or I need to use some cards. And that's really it. Or like, oh, I guess I'm like ultimate with Mael, I guess I can use it before just to, like, you know, still insta kill them, but like, hey, it'll be nice. It's not. It's like the card is not. The card won't do that much damage, right? Ever, right? And you're like the way you run her. Imagine this is a card that doesn't do any damage, and all it says on rank 1 is decreases enemy crit resistance by 20%. You wouldn't click that card ever. You'd hate that card. And the same thing with this. You never click this card and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing something. Okay? And buff card's broken. Arguably one of the best skills in the entire game. But they didn't change it. They did. It's like 5% more on rank 1 and stuff, right? But like it's practically the same, skill. Yeah, it's 5% more. Yikes. So like I wouldn't on rank 1 it's the same. On rank 2 it's 5% more. There's no point even talking about the buff card, right? If you don't allow her, you get in the same unit. So in terms of Aloris, I can't rate her high because she's on the same level as her base unit. I wouldn't like give her like, oh yeah, like this is really a game changer. She's really doing something that she wasn't doing before. You know, I was talking about like, does the unit enable something? Is the unit be able to replace those teams? Yes, you can replace it with a regular you are, and you would just be fine. So that's why she's 5. Okay, I feel like most people can vibe with this, but most people will probably be okay with this. Now, this is where I'm gonna get the most comments, I think, even more than the Glock stuff. And it's going to be, I think, Escanor is the best LR in the game. And I thought so since its release, and I thought so even now. Okay? Escanor is good in every single content in the entire game. There's no content he's not good in. Not a singular content he's not good in. Okay? Nothing. Like Demonic Beast Battle, he's good. Demon King, he's good. PvP, really good. Heroes Arena, he's good. Everything he's good in. Everything you can make him work, and he will cook. And on whatever team he is the main, he's a star. Okay? He is the one that you're playing around on any team you put him on. He is him. And he also fully enables a human team. Without him, you're not making a human team. You're trolling. You're trolling. You're trolling if you do. Right? The one ultimate, don't make me laugh. That guy sucks ass. Okay? Okay, well, that's it. That's the only other show we have. So, you know, it's him or the one ultimate, and the one ultimate success for a human team. So the only one you can really use is this guy, and this guy enables the human team like no one else does. And he is not just really strong. The buff removal and Cruel Sun is genuinely so nice. It's not needed. It's nice. Okay, and the ignites he does very nice too. Right, slight damage increase. It matters. Okay, his card really nice. It does so much damage. It fills up his ult gauge. He can get around so much like cheese and bad mechanics from bosses and like people in PvP by just getting to max ultimate gauge. You can't debuff him. Very strong. Insane stat spread. His stats are insane. Card's insane. Passive insane. Everything about this guy is insane. And he's good at everything. Okay? Now, people will tell me, Liz is the best at LAR. Oh my god, she's so good for PvE. Okay, have you thought about thinking for yourself for like 5 seconds once? She came out, people hated on her, turned out she was really broken PvE, and now people have this like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. This happens so many times in like different like communities and everything, where now people are forced to think that Liz is the best at LAR, or you're stupid. Or like, oh my god, you don't think Liz is the best at LAR? Pfft, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. The game isn't just this and this. No. Escanor adds so much more value to your account than Liz does. Liz is really good for PvE. Oh cool, so is Escanor. Oh, Liz will help you beat Nidhogg. Oh my god, so will Goddess team that doesn't run her. Oh my god, she's good for Skull and Hardy. Oh my god, I've been beating that within 4 minutes before she came out. Oh my god, yo, like the other PvE content. Oh my god, wow, I don't want her on the team. I don't want her on the bird team. I don't want her on the deer team, right? The Demon King, you can't use her because she's a goddess. She takes 6,000% more damage. Final boss, she's good. Escanor's also good, right? Goddesses tend to be better though, just because of like the whole like team. But she herself, you know, is good. She's really strong. I'd probably rate her like amongst the top 10 units in the entire game. Okay, but is she number 1 in LAR in my opinion? No, she's not. If you think she is, fair. I think you've completely got a point, and I understand and I respect it. I don't think so. I think Escanor has so much more for you though, for your account, and that's so crazy. And people have like said, yo, the human team is so whale heavy. It's not whale heavy. is you just need... Escanor is not hard to get. Green Escanor, okay. Most people will probably have him like 57 out of 6. Okay. His Holy Relic is Bird. Come on now. Okay. Then you need Green Arthur. Right, let's just run like generic human setup. I mean, I like the full like damage one, but generic human setup would run Green Arthur. That's given to you for free. You can summon for him. Right. His Holy Relic, I think, is also Bird. Very easy to get. Right. Don't even need it, but it's CC, I guess. Right. You'd like to go first with this team. Which is why people say it's whale heavy, which is not. Going first doesn't have to do anything with the team. It has to do with your count, right? And if you weren't going to go first with human team, you're probably not going to go first with Sin's team either. That's just the hard truth of it. Okay, if my Sin's team has 432 KCC, and your human team has 401 KCC. Then your Sin's team probably has like 415 KCC, and you're still going first against me. Okay, that's 450. That's a huge jump, but I'm capping here. But I'm just saying, like, most likely, if your count doesn't go first with humans, it's not like it's then you won't consistently go first with any other team anyway. Okay, so that card doesn't matter. And the thing is, it's not like you're gonna face an Ultra Whale with like 450 KCC every match. Okay, if you play PvP. Okay, because let's just talk about the one thing that people complain about this guy. You don't, right? Like, people always make out this worst case scenario. You queue up 10 matches, you could run a team without food. 8 out of 10 you'll probably go first because the game is filled with bots if you play geared. If you play ungeared, different story, right? A lot more people play ungeared because actually there's an incentive to play it. And even then, in a lot of pledges, it just depends. Like, would you have out-CC'd them anyway? Yes, no. There's no, oh my god, only because I'm using the human team. Every now and then it comes up, but people make it out to be a thing that's always like this. It's not always like this. Okay, a lot of times you'll just go first. You'll meet someone that has like 2 million less boxes than you, doesn't have the outfits or something that you already have for your team. And then boom, they lose. They go second, right? Instant loss to humans. It's not that as simple as like, yeah, humans well, because if you put 2 people with the same box CC and everything together, a human team will go second, and they're not that crazy defensively, so they would die. Which they're not. They got 30% HP from Arthur, they got 15% HP from Bon if you run him, and the 20% damage reduction. They will legit live most first turns, especially the current meta. No real team, like especially with the setup people are running because they're not intelligent. Not many teams will actually one-turn you, especially not the human team. Okay, the human team has changed drastically over the past year, and people act like it's still the team it was before, like Roxy even came out, or like when Roxy came out. It was like the one ultimate, Roxy, Red Arthur, and then like Ragnarok Bond backline. It's not that team anymore. You have real stats, you have like proper stuff in the team now. So people are unable to like free the shackles in their mind and just actually think for 1 second or look at the game as it is in the current state. But I think Escanor is the best. Again, you don't have to agree. Best it from me, boys. I've been talking way too much. Good job.